All right, hello lads. We are back. Took a little bit of a hiatus. I needed a little bit of a break. School was just tearing me a new one, and I also had Halloween things over the weekend. And when I say Halloween things, I go all out for Halloween. I ain't some of the people my age like. This is what people my age like to do. People my age like to do some lazy costumes and just party and drink. I don't. That's not my thing. My thing is I like having a cool costume. And if you guys haven't seen, I was Darth Maul. It's on my Instagram. So check out the channel's Instagram if you want to see what I dressed up as for Halloween. So do that. Do that. I thought it came out pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. But yeah, also another thing. This is specifically for my community because I trust your guys' opinion. Now, what do you guys think about the facial hair? Anyone rewatching this on video, you have to pause it. You can't watch no more of this stream until you say, do you like my facial hair? I trimmed it down a bit more, guys. Do you guys think so? So let me know in the chat right now, in the comments later on. Do you like the facial hair? Do you think I should just go baby face again? Should I let it grow out more? Or should I just keep it kind of shorter how it is now? Grease Goblin, is Michael Myers confirmed? Yeah. Yeah. That's me. Hi, Jack. How are you? What if Brandon Snow killed the dragons? I'll be honest. I think it was a combination of the Maesters that killed the dragons. But you think I should... Okay, a lot of people think I should go for the mustache. I just don't want the mustache. I don't want the hair around my mouth. I just like... I've had friends and people in my life that have had like the full getup, and like it just hair gets in their food, or not in their food, but like food gets in their hair. The opposite of what I just said. So much that like I just couldn't be bothered to that, because it always like I'm one of those people where I'd be like very OCD about it, where I'd have to like constantly. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Hi Matthew, how are you? R plus L equals J, but the R is Robert. Oh god. Oh no. No, just no. Okay, so we are on to the losers bracket. I kind of forgot about that because it's been a long time. It's been a long time since we have done this bracket. We took like a 2-3 week break for this bracket, so we are kind of on the stinker side of the tier list or whatever. As someone with a mustache, can confirm that all liquid foods and sauces are a risk in public. Yeah, see, that would bother me, Jack. That would very much bother me. Hi, Amir. How are you? That would really bother me. Okay. But how are you guys doing? For the people that celebrate Halloween, how are you guys doing? What'd you go as for Halloween? Like I said, I went as Darth Maul. I got the full face paint, makeup, had a bald cap on. Probably should have gotten more horns. I only got like 5 because I didn't feel like going through all the whole hassle. But yeah. Also, J-Lord, Eddard and Robert would never have decided to split the 7 kingdoms because, for one, even with them having a fight, like they would never have like basically gone to war. Like Robert was never going to let the kingdoms split. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so this is a theory I just talked about. And I think, what, 2 weeks ago? Right? Tyrion's real target at the Red Wedding. I think it's a very fun theory. Don't think it's a great theory. I think that Tyrion wasn't the target, but I think it's a very interesting theory. We then also have the Robb is the kiss of life, or Robb gets the kiss of life theory. Another very good theory. So this is a tough one for me. Personally, just based upon the fact that it's a cool one. Both of these are cool. I've done videos on both these theories, and I don't know. I was dude, ultra. That is what I want to go for next year. I want to go as the Witch King. That's a good one. How did you like it? How did you do it? Did you just get the robe? You get like a little thing? But I thought that's a cool one, ultra. That's what I want to do next year. I think about 50-50 about if it wait. I think 50-50 about if you could work both. I'm like that, but I prefer babyface for me personally just because of management. Fair enough, fair enough. Just got back home. Love to see that, Amir. It was last minute, so I dressed up as a lumberjack. Oh, that's a cool one. That's a cool one. As long as you're not, doing some basic ones. I've seen a lot of basic ones where it's just people like just trying to be as much as hoey as possible, and I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. Like, if you're gonna be Darth Vader, be Darth Vader. Put the whole mask on. Do the whole thing. Don't just put. Don't get me started. In my opinion, Tyrion only committed to killing Tywin after Jaime told him the truth, and he saw Shay in his chambers, so doubt he would be the target at Purple Wedding. I agree. All right, so let me type this in chat. So we've got the Tyrion theory. So this is him being the target at the Purple Wedding, versus Robb is going to come back to life basically through Lady Stoneheart giving him the kiss of death. You can go a number of ways with this theory based on, okay, is Robb's body still sewed to the direwolf head? Will they switch that out and it'll be Robb's head because we don't know where Robb's head is? I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, and I like both these theories. Also, I know, guys. I finally recorded a video today about George R.R. Martin's little update about 75% of Winds of Winter. I'm positive about it because I'm happy he actually finally gave us an update. But at the same time, like 75% means, okay, we still got like 2 to 3 more years, which is a little unfortunate. But it's not like I didn't see it coming. I kind of thought that anyway. But yeah. I'm gonna have to get refreshed with some of these. I don't even remember. Okay, so we got some real interesting ones coming up. Jane Westerling. Okay, all right. We got some interesting ones on here. We got some interesting ones. But how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? We've had a little bit of downtime. What if they dice at the start of the rebellion? Look, we both have royal blood. One of the old Stark and Blackwood kings, the other the Targaryen and Storm Kings. What if it was the rebellion of 2 kings? I see what you're saying, J-Lord, but that just would never have really happened. Like, because Ned and Robert just grew up together. Like, they were basically raised as brothers, so no situation would have ever, unless you're making something happen that they don't like each other for some reason. I don't know. Maybe like Ned fully supports Rhaegar because he knows that Lyanna loves him. That's about all I can see, but even then, I don't know. I met up with this girl at a bar, got invited to a party. We dressed up as Bonnie and Clyde because we both didn't have costumes. Okay, I can see that. Do you hear what George said about sci-fi and fantasy being more pessimistic compared to the optimism of fantasy and sci-fi in his youth? I did not. Elaborate on that, Jack, though. I'm interested. Elaborate. Okay, so you guys so far are saying Robb. You guys are so far saying Robb. Also, with my friend group, for the rest of my friend group, it was a weird thing because it was like my small friend group. It was Star Wars. So, like, for instance, I had like 5 or 6 of my friends that were like Jedi. I was the only like dark. I was only the only villain one. They all was like, one of my friends was Qui-Gon because he has like the longer hair. One was Obi-Wan. Somebody was supposed to be Anakin, but they don't really look like Anakin. So, whatever. Somebody was Luke Skywalker. You know. And then one of my other friends was Padme. But yeah. What's the theories? The theories for right now are Tyrion being the target or not being the, Tyrion being the target at the purple wedding. I don't know why I said the red wedding. And Robb the kiss of life theory. Hi, Ashley, by the way. I always wonder what Tyrion was thinking when he decided to go to Tywin's room during his escape. Imagine if Tywin had been there, he would have been overpowered and captured Tyrion on the spot. That's true, because Tywin, like, he definitely would have done that. Also, Shay was there as well. That is interesting, right? That is an interesting idea. You're not actually late, Jesse. I always start streams early. Like, if you ever see something's posted for, like, especially for a live stream. If it's like supposed to go at 7 p.m., right? I'm always gonna go at like 6:55. Are you an Amish person for Halloween? Right now, we'll go with it because I don't have a costume on for the stream. But I was Darth Maul, Young Wolf, for Halloween. I had my quote unquote Halloween Saturday. That's an interesting idea, Jack. I might have to look that up. Robert Strong theory? I don't think I have it on here. I don't think so. Been a while, but yeah, no, I don't have it on here. That is a good one, though. Maybe if we do a second one. Was binge watching a very intense episode of Naruto. Bawled my eyes out. Hey, Ashley, sometimes that's what we got to do. It's just what we got to do here. He's Abe Lincoln in disguise right now for Halloween. So I am in a interesting situation because if my friend group does Lord of the Rings next year, I'm gonna be probably a Nazgul or the Witch King. But if we don't do like anything kind of themed last year or next year, I'm probably gonna be just Abe Lincoln. If I still have the beard, that's if I still have the beard. I don't know. I'm kind of like up in like arms about it. I don't know. Got a black robe that covered my eyes, a black piece of clothing, and I sewed it to cover my face, but still being able to breathe, and a long black skirt. Fair warning, it gets hot. I would assume. So Ultra, I had for my Darth Maul thing. I initially had a robe, which I'm assuming is like kind of the same thing you had for yours, and it was just not good. I didn't like it, so I took it off, and I was wearing all black outside of that as well. So I can imagine. Plus, I had face paint. Face paint makes your face so hot. It's just so like but yeah. That's a cool one, Ultra. I appreciate your creativity. There are not a lot of people in this world that like to be creative on Halloween. Also, if you guys hear the doorbell, I don't know. I don't think you guys are gonna be able to hear the doorbell, but if you guys do, it's because there's kids trick-or-treating right now. And luckily my parents are taking control of it. Just watch. I have never watched Naruto, by the way. Just want to throw that out there for you guys who are talking about it. What's up, Casper? How are you? When Phantom Menace came out, me and my brother dressed as Padme and Darth Maul. That's a cool one. That's cool. I need to be Abe Lincoln like I need a hole in my head. Oh, boy. Young Wolf, are you okay? We got to stop that. We got to stop. It's too early to be saying stuff like that. One Piece is the Game of Thrones anime. Oh, okay. Okay. You should say, okay, Young Wolf, you got to stop. You got to stop now. Okay, we're at a dead tie for the theories right now. So somebody needs to pick, or else I'm going to pick for you. And you don't want me to pick for you, okay? Because that's going to be a tough decision. Even I don't know what I'm going to pick. Somebody else vote on this thing, or retract your vote, or something. Hi, Lady Gonzo. How are you? Vote if you haven't. Okay, thank you. Whoever voted, thank you. We can go with Tyrion now. So, Tyrion wins. Unfortunately, I did not, word this right because it should say purple wedding, but we move. Hold on. What was it? I gotta move chat back out here. I've made an axe out of a broom handle and duct tape on a bus. What? What? What is going on here, Amir? Okay, so moving on. We have the Kraken summon theory. So this is that basically Euron is going to summon Krakens. Versus mermaids and Lannisport. What a great time to be alive, lads. What a great time to... These are the theories that we've got right now, where you're just vibing. By the way, Young Wolves, you see, here's the thing. Back to the good old days of 14 viewers, that's when we've got the more intimate viewers, right? We've got the more weird ones. We've got Matthew in here. Just look at Matthew. I'm joking, Matthew, but... You did tell me a quite disturbing Yoda joke today. What if Rickard Stark had a sister who who would he or she marry? The great John Number, John Aaron, Wyman Manderley, Rickard. If Rickard Stark had a sister, who would she marry? That's interesting. I could see John Aaron. It depends, like, when Rickard Stark starts making like these marriage pacts and stuff, or if it was going to be his father that did it. Because if he was already starting to do his Southern ambitions, it would be like someone like a John Aaron. All right, so you guys are overwhelmingly saying Krakens. Okay, all right, all right. By the way, I do not watch anime at all, guys, so I can't comment on your anime stuff. I just can't. The extent of my anime knowledge is like I watched Pokemon when I was younger, when it was like animated. That's about it. That's about it. I know. I'm disappointing you guys. I understand. That's true, Matthew. That's true. Also, I will say for tomorrow, it was a video I wanted to get up Saturday. Just didn't get the time to do it. I had recorded it, just didn't have the time to edit it because it's going to be quite bigger, but I got it done today. I hope you guys enjoy the video on Aegon the Third. I really enjoyed making the video. He's a fascinating character, in my opinion. He's a depressed boy, and it's just, yeah, it's interesting to see how all of it kind of goes. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand what most of these polls refer to. Hugo. We either have that Euron is going to summon Krakens, that theory, right? That's going to happen in Winds. Or you have that there are mermaids in Lannisport. That theory, more or less. There you go, Hugo. There's your run-of-the-mill. I don't type them fully out because I don't want to be here for 10 years. But you guys have suggested the Krakens win. Okay. All right. Also, I will say, guys, thank you for 1,800 subs. That was pretty cool. Woke up to that this morning, so that was cool. You should watch One Piece, Eric. It's like Game of Thrones all world building, but with much more humor and action in short episodes. Okay. I will consider it, Jack. If I have time, I will consider it. Pokemon is such a letdown now. It's a damn shame. I'll be honest. I liked Pokemon until Generation 5. And then I just stopped caring after that point. I kind of just thought some of the stuff they were coming out was just like, eh. All right, so moving on. Next poll we've got here is we've got Jane Westerling. Is she pregnant? So this is the theory that basically Rob got her pregnant before he, died. Sorry, spoilers, guys. Spoiler. But yeah, it's that theory. And then you have the doom of Valyria was caused by the Faceless Men. So, what theory would you guys like to go further? I think I already know the answer to this one. And again, and on these polls, these can be the best poll. Like, what do you think is the most creative? Can be your favorite. I really don't care the way you guys vote on these. You guys just do what you guys think is cool. But yeah. It isn't. These people are lying to you. Ultra, that wouldn't surprise me. Especially Matthew. He lies a lot. Now, hear me out. Krakens are cool and all, but mermaids got the lady half on top, and I can do way more than... Okay, well, Honky, we know where your mind's at today. That's all I'm going to say. Pokemon never ends. That's fair. I think Euron will trick people into believing he's summoning the Kraken, but really it'll just a crap ton of blood in the water. Fair enough, Ashley. I could see that. I feel so bad for Aegon the Third, and what do you... Yeah, he is a... I'll give you guys a summary of his life real quick. His entire family dies. Basically. He becomes king when he probably didn't want to. And then his wife then commits suicide. And then he decides to marry a 6-year-old. And then he just is depressed in his room and he dies. Like that's more or less Aegon's life. It's just it's rough. It's rough. Okay. Matthew, I told you what two theories they are. It's about basically either the Faceless Men cause the doom of Valyria, or Jane Westerling is pregnant. Basically, that Robb gets her pregnant before the Red Wedding. Ultraviolet is right. Okay. All right, shot. All right. Honky Kong. Whoa. Did you just call me honky for shame, sir? You're honky. You're like donkey, but you're honky. Did the Faceless Men kill the mages that were controlling the Vulcan? Yes, that is basically the theory I'm talking about. Jane Westerling will have a significant role and wins. An obvious way for this to happen is that she is pregnant, but that comes with a lot of it. Yeah, I agree, Hugo. I just don't think the timing kind of adds up there. Doom is wacky as fuck, but at least it's possible. That's fair. I think so. Stab the boiler tenders. Yep. Lie about what? I would like to know what I'm being accused of. I don't know, Matthew. I just like to accuse you of things. Both are probably true, man. Ma'am Westerling gave Jane plenty of moon tea, and the Faceless Men definitely had something to do with the doom of Valyria. Faceless theory is more impactful, so I have to go with that. Makes sense. All right. I do think Jane is going to be the young queen that gets really shot. I'd love to know your reasoning behind that. I haven't heard that theory too much. I liked his brother Viserys, which reached GW. What was he ranked for king? Brother, I don't remember. I know it was like top 5, I think. I think he was top 5. I think that's where he was, Matthew. Makes sense, Kong. I haven't seen the sailor's wife yet in these polls. Is she? I don't even know if she's on here. She might be. Hold on. Is she on here? Yeah, the sailor's wife theory is a bit further down, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Gotta calm down a little, okay? Hugo, you gotta calm down. Hi, Billy Bob, by the way. Jane's mother was slipping moon tea to her without her knowledge is what I know. Yes, agreed. Faceless Men did not destroy Valyria. The children did. Okay, okay. I can see that, Kong. So Young Wolf, the way I took the moon tea is that it was more of like, let's just make sure she don't get pregnant type thing. Like it's you know, it's kind of like plan B, right? You know, like that's how I look at what the moon tea was. Like the same thing with how House of the Dragon showed it. It wasn't that Rhaenyra is pregnant, it's that she slept with a dude. I can't wait for Jane's mother to get her karma. Yeah. Yes, yes, Amir, that is correct. I do talk about that quite a bit as well in the video. I gave you a very generalized version of what his life is. Faceless Men casted the ring into the fire. Yep. What if Jane Westerling caused the doom of Valyria? Yeah, her good hips, or her conflicting hip description by Jaime and Catelyn is yeah, that's why. That's why. It just everybody was so distracted that they stopped, you know, doing their jobs, and everybody died. Faceless Men and the Children of the Force are same team. Okay, interesting. That is correct, Shot. That is correct. But what makes you think that Jane is going to be able to be in a position to take down Cersei? That's my question. I can see why you'd think like she's the more younger and more beautiful or whatever, and why you could fit her into the prophecy, but how do you think she's going to get into a position to take down Cersei would be my question. Thoughts on Random House making George write Fire and Blood instead of Winds? The only reason I could see them doing that is that they know that Fire and Blood, if they made George do it, it'd come out much quicker than Winds. Because again, you're just putting plot points together. It's a history, right? It's stuff that George R. R. Martin should already have in his head. We've gotten a lot of the information already. When you talk about the Blackfire Rebellions, it's just kind of connecting things. So again, Fire and Blood Part 2 shouldn't even be that hard anyway. Bran and Arya are both trapped. I could see it. I could see it, Shot. I could see it. I'm hoping Jane didn't screw my boy over. I don't know. Maybe Kong, maybe. That would be stupid, though, on Jane's mom's part, because Jane's kids will literally be the heir to the North. Yeah, but I mean, if you think about the timing in which I've talked about this a lot, because it's a win-win situation for the Westerling family, right? If, like, you can play on to, oh, if Rob wins the war, Jane's in a position to, you know, be the queen. She then, you know, they can stop giving her moon tea once he's won the war. If he loses the war, you can go to Taiwan and be like, oh, yeah, see, I was giving her moon tea and all these things, making sure she had no heirs, and then gets her position back, if not higher, you know, stature, right? So it was a kind of a win-win situation, and that's just kind of how it pops out. Honky, Kong, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So what are we talking about here? But besides from Rob's will for John. Yep. Naming my band Debatable Hips. That's a good one. I think Jane and Stoneheart link up. I think that is very possible. Fair enough, Kong. Young Wolf, what do you mean? Do you not watch the interview? What are you talking about on that? Fuck George if he does fire and volume. Yeah, I think he'll be very much slandered, but yeah, who knows? He did Rise of the Dragon, which nobody wanted and nobody cared about. How about this for a poll? Who is a legitimate monarch? Aegon this. Oh God, Kong. We're gonna start that argument. Maybe. I think we could do an entire stream on this exact question, Kong. But okay, I'll think about it. But we gotta move on. So Valyria ends up winning. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Why do we have this twice? Okay, we're just not gonna do the next poll. I guess I did the question or the bracket twice. I don't know. So Hooded Man's just gonna go forward. I don't know why there's a second one here. I don't remember us doing a poll like that, but whatever. All right. I think this is a pretty self-explanatory one. I mean, N plus A equals J. And then the Quaithe theories is just basically her identity. Is it Shiera Seastar? Who is Quaithe? That's basically what this question is about. Or this theory is about. We'll just go with the Shiera Seastar, because that's the most known one. That's the most known theory for this one. Say, and Q. There you go. Hold on. Daenerys and Jon will have 3 children named Rhaegar, Eddard, Gior, Stannis. Wait. Okay, Rhaegar, Eddard, Gior, Stannis, and Lyanna Ygritte. Best ending. Hope y'all get the. Oh boy, we gotta chill. We gotta chill. We gotta chill. He explained why the publisher told him to that. So Billy Bob, I think you're gonna be disappointed. Oh boy, that's not what you like to see. The real trick is the Cersei Jaime love potion ran out. You know, that's an interesting theory. That is a really interesting theory when you really think about it. That is a good one I kind of wish would have been on here. I could have sworn I read that George said that he can't finish Fire and Blood before A Song of Ice and because the incident at Summerhall is important to the plot of. There's a lot of things where I feel like that is kind of true, and that's kind of like with Robert's Rebellion, where I kind of feel the same way. Like, we can't really have a show until that. What are we talking about here? We're talking about, so Ned and Ashara equals Jon, or we're talking about Quaithe's identity. You can go with any of the theories here. I went with the most, I guess, normal one, which is the Shiera Seastar is a Quaithe theory. That is true, Billy Bob. His publisher really can't make him do much. Everyone will vote Rhaenyra, and that's evident. Yes, but see, Kong has an interesting argument that I think is a very good argument, but Dany and Jon are hooking up. Dany isn't having any kids anyway. Maybe, maybe. I guess I'll have to look at this interview completely, Young Wolf. I just know I've seen the part of an interview where he's like, how far Winds of Winter is done. That's the part I've seen. Sounds good, Jack. Sounds good. The Rise of the Dragon was a cash grab from the publisher, not really taking up George's time in like Fire and Blood. That's fair, Billy Bob. That's fair. What if Littlefinger was never fostered at Riverrun and never became bitter? So, again, Littlefinger is a massively different character. If Littlefinger is not at Riverrun, he is completely different. He is not even a villain, I don't think. Right? I think he would have stayed his status. He wouldn't have really... We wouldn't even have had... Depending on what theories you believe, we wouldn't even have had certain like wars happen. So a lot changes. This is why I think, unless there's going to be a third volume for Fire and Blood, he has to do Winds of Winter first. Ned and Ashara don't equal Jon. I agree with this, Kong. I agree. Also mean George would be breaking his promise a second time. Fire and Blood Volume 1 wasn't supposed to release till after. That's a good point as well. I mean, okay, Lady Gonzo. I've done a video talking about both. And I just think with the evidence that George has given us through the text, the conclusion of Ned, or not Ned, of Rhaegar and Lyanna being Jon's parents are much more likely than Ned and Ashara. I think a Ned and Ashara is a theory that is popular because people don't want to believe the generalized theory of Jon is it. There's way too much evidence, in my opinion, like, George, literally been told this, that who are he asked D&D, who are Jon's parents? They say, presumably Rhaegar and Lyanna, and that's what ends up on the show. That's the reason George let them do it. So it's like, and then you even factor into the point, I say this all the time, Ashara cannot be Jon's mom and only be referenced in the story 5 times. If I went up to any of my like casual friends that were like either show or maybe they had read through the book once, they don't know who Ashara is. Like, that's my whole problem. You can't make a massive payout be with Ashara as the mom. It's just like, it's a whatever. I don't know. Cersei and Catelyn think so. I mean, there's reasons though behind that. Like, Catelyn thinks it because that's just who she is. She's a very jealous person, and of course, when Ned brings back a quote-unquote bastard, right? Who's she gonna expect? The one person that's Ned has been known to have some sort of chemistry with in the past, right? Like, I don't know. Oh, I'm trying to get through comments. Hold on. I agree, Matthew, on your assessment of Rise of the Dragon, by the way. I also did not get it. And this is coming from someone that has based their entire channel around A Song of Ice and Fire, who has A Song of Ice and Fire / Game of Thrones stuff all around the room, and even I didn't buy it. Like, Book 1 says N plus A equals J twice. So again, Ashara is mentioned, I believe, 3 times in the first book. Ashara is, I think, mentioned, or no, sorry, she's mentioned twice in the first book. She's then name dropped one more time with Ned Dane, And then she is name dropped, I believe, once or twice in Dance with the Dragon. She's name dropped once with Barristan, maybe twice with Barristan. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I just know 5 whole times. Compared to Rhaegar and Lyanna, and how we're constantly being told to question if that is true or not, and all these things. I just don't buy it. And it's like, what does Jon being a Dane add to the story? Like, and the whole idea of, oh, well, Jon's legitimate to Ned. We already have Robb's will coming anyway, so he's going to be legitimized as a Stark anyway. The whole, oh, he's a part Targaryen and the heir to the Iron Throne? Big change. Big change. Massive implications to the story. I don't know. This is my whole, like, that's my exact argument, Lady Gonzo. Think about how involved George was at the beginning of the show. He would have told them who Jon's parents are. It's a major reveal for the show. Book 1 heavily that's kind of how I took it as. Right? That's how I took it as. So I said it comes from 2 different times. It comes once. Okay, so let's even we'll go into something else if you guys really, if you want me really to go in depth about Ned and Ashara, because we could be here all day. 2 times, Catelyn's POV and from Ned's with Cersei later in the book. Catelyn's I've already talked about. It makes sense why Catelyn would believe Ashara. Cersei, again, the whole thing is a lot of people think that Ned and Ashara had some sort of chemistry together, right? It's the, oh, Ned might have had a crush on her type thing, right? So obviously you're going to, from a character that just doesn't know anything going on with Rhaegar, Lyanna, and how that's all been kind of covered up, of course you're going to assume it's like Ashara. That's of course. But my thing is, we're inside of Ned's head, right? He never thinks of Ashara once. When we are in Ned's head, he does not think of Ashara at all. Thinks of Lyanna, though, quite a bit. Interesting. Just saying. Also, the story about them guessing, I'm assuming you're talking about the Jon's parentage is bullshit. Where did you come up with that? Because it was very much early on in the seasons like that. That was something that he actually did ask. I also kind of agree with this, Dogman. I kind of agree with this as well. Ned does not mention Ashara. Cersei does, but you are correct. How many times have I read the series? I've probably read it like 6 times, I think. Also, yeah, he would not be named Aegon. Agreed. Who do you think Ashara's baby could be? I think it's much more likely that it's actually Brandon Stark's baby. I think that makes more sense than Ned's. Also, another thing I don't like about Ned plus Ashara theory is that it kind of goes against Ned's entire character. Because unless you're saying that Ned and Ashara were married, Ned is not the guy that's going... He's not his brother, right? His brother would do that, right? And we have evidence that maybe he would do something like that. That's why I think Brandon and Ashara makes way more sense than Ned and Ashara. But why would Ned, who's this honorable, he's always said as being honorable like this, sleep with Ashara even when they're not... Unless you guys think that they were married. If they're married, maybe. But then why would Ned then marry Catelyn? Again, it's just a very questionable circumstance, in my opinion. I agree with that, Kong. Some of the stuff you're saying is implied is simply your shot. You're trying to base Jon's parentage off of Ashara being name dropped 5 times in like the biggest like fantasy like book series. Like, I get why people believe it, okay, and I don't have any problems if you believe it. But you can't deny your theory is in the minority. Like, and I get like, okay, my majority's not always right. But there is a lot more evidence you can point to in the book series that I'm not really going to imply because I don't want this to be a Rhaegar stream. Like, this is the last I'm going to talk about it. There is much more you can pull. There's much more name drops of Rhaegar and Lyanna and how we're being led to question what happened there and all of that. And if you even look at narratively the impacts on the story, Rhaegar and Lyanna makes much more sense than Ned and Ashara does. Just thematically. If George wanted Ashara and Ned to be this bigger thing, it would be mentioned way more times. When Ned is in book 1, he would be thinking about Ashara. He would be questioning, you know, his relationship with Ashara. He would be wondering in his head, was I right to do what I did with Ashara? He would be saying like that. It just, I don't know. I mean, and if you even look at what Billy Bob just said, the Song of Ice and Fire, it makes perfect sense to put Jon as this character that has fire, the Targaryen side, the ice from the Stark side. It to me makes a lot more sense. We could say the same thing about him covering for Lyanna. I disagree. Lyanna is a much different situation. Lyanna is, okay, if let's say Lyanna had Jon's baby and all of that, if Ned is lying there, he's protecting an innocent child that did nothing wrong. Right? It makes sense why Ned would lie there. It doesn't make sense why Ned would lie for all these other things. We should put money on this for N plus. Like, I don't think it's impossible, right? I think it's like 80% to lie. Or I'd say 85, 15% that it's, but. That's how I look at it, Dogman. Dogman, my whole thing is if he changes it, I just think of it as it's going to be something where he just wanted to switch it up. That's how I look at it, but I don't know. All right, we're going to move on. I'm not going to talk about Ned and Ashara anymore. I just don't feel like talking about it. So, Quaithe wins. I'm a little surprised because I think Ned and Ashara's theory is much more interesting than Quaithe's theories. But fair enough. I mean, this should tell you right now how popular R plus L is, plus to the other one, right? On how many people believe it. Not only did N plus A lose to Dany as a fire white, it also then came down here and lost to Quaithe theories. So that's how I'll judge that theory. So we have Tyrion Targaryen, very interesting theory that the Mad King got with Joanna. Two different universes. The beginning of the two are not. Season 1. Okay, let's look at season 1. Season 1 is a very, very close adaptation of book 1. I think it is the best of the 4 seasons when it comes to actually adapting source material. And again, in that story, if George again was in this, again, I need to stop talking about this. But if George is heavily involved in season 1, he was heavily involved. And you're telling me he just said, nah, let's not mention Ashara. Let's not cast some flashback for Ashara. Let's not even talk about Ashara. Doesn't make any sense. Like, if that is where, at that point, if that's what George was thinking, where he was like, R plus L is the parents, of course he's not going to put in Ashara, because it would just confuse viewers at that point. But I don't know. I gotta stop talking about it. But Tyrion being a Targaryen, the Mad King basically sleeps with Tywin's wife, and you have Tyrion. So that's where that theory comes from. LF started. These are two good theories. So Tyrion Targ theory versus LF Rebellion. We're just gonna call it LF Rebellion. It's the Littlefinger Rebellion. What do you guys think? I think these are very intriguing and very good theories in their own right. I think the Littlefinger Rebellion one has a little bit more substance to it, but I think both are interesting. Hot take: Season 1 was the only good season of Game of Thrones. I can't agree with you there, Kong. I think all of them up to 5 were pretty good. I think some of the seasons did things that were not great. It's like House of the Dragon, right? Where House of the Dragon has done things that were very questionable to me, but I still think it's a good show. Like, and like looking back on like season 4, very good. It was probably, for most people, it was probably the best season of Game of Thrones, but it did do some things that were a little questionable that impacted the later seasons. Season 1 is good, but if you rewatch it, it's not as lore accurate as we remember. It's pretty, like, for a show adaptation or a movie adaptation, it was pretty close. Like, it was pretty close. They did a perfect adaptation where they were doing it where they added scenes that didn't break the lore, and they added scenes that were great. Like Littlefinger Varys scenes, great. Robert and Cersei, great scenes to add already to the source material. Tyrion is a you guys really gotta listen when I talk, but it's basically Tyrion is a Targaryen. That is one thing that is a bit different. They kind of take away the magic element of the story in the show. Yeah, Hugo. I agree. It makes a lot of sense. I'd rather think he's with Tywin. I'll be honest, I don't really care about Ashara, but I do care what happens to Arthur. Fair. Fair enough, shot. Thank you, in the Interesting Nerd Club, for the kind words. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping in on the stream. Let's not forget that Tyrion Targaryen also technically includes D plus D equals T. This is correct. Season 1 was great, but you can see the beginning of the major problems. I would disagree with you on that. I think season 1, for the most part, I didn't have a lot of the issues that the later seasons had. I think it was a very well structured. Things I will say about season 1 that were different from the book, and that's just because of how the way the show went. They turned down the magic element of it, which again I was fine with, and I think for casual viewers works. And then they also like really leaned heavily into showing a lot of like sex and nudity, which I didn't think was necessary. So those are two things I think season 1 didn't do great. We didn't get to really see how Jaime's captured the whole battle there, which was a little disappointing, but again, given the budget, we knew that wasn't going to happen really. So again, but I think season 1 was pretty good for what it was. Season 2, 3, and 4 had some demons moments, but they weren't that good. I thought they were all very good. I think all 3 of those seasons were really good. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. They couldn't do the whole Tyrion battle because of that. George mentioned that House of the Dragon season 2 might be 1.5 years to 2 years to be released. I agree. I agree that I think they should take as much time as they need to. I don't think they should rush it. No, Tyrion. I agree with you, Kong. No, it wasn't. There are other things done to humanize Catelyn. Yes, I agree. There was things done to humanize Catelyn, and I liked those changes. I like that they humanized Catelyn a bit more. It makes a lot of people like Catelyn much more, so the Red Wedding is a lot more impactful, I think, for a lot of people. Because, like, in the books, it's way different. People are much less sympathetic to Catelyn, where when she dies, it's still sad to a degree because you're watching Robb die, the Starks are losing their hope and all that, and they're literally dying in front of you, basically. But Catelyn's not the most likable character. Didn't require us. This is interesting evidence, Ashley. That maybe, but I just think it's interesting to think about when you look at Tyrion and his, because we have a lot of things with the Targaryens that, because of incest through the years, it would be interesting if, because of that DNA going into the Lannisters, it creates Tyrion. It's an interesting idea, but I do agree that I think he's a Targaryen. Different color eyes is a major trait. I mean, yes, to be a Targaryen, but I don't think because somebody's eye color is different that the entire show's quality is not as good. I think season 1 is very good. Kong, ask her if she's a Targaryen. I was not okay with it. It's critical to Jon. So the way I look at it is Catelyn is still pretty harsh to Jon, even in that scene. Like, if you look at a casual viewer, the same outcome happens. It's just done differently. It's much harsher. We get much more of it from Jon, that we understand how deep this went. In the show, and I know this because I have casual viewer friends that never have read the books, that came out of that Jon scene hating Catelyn. And even my friends, a lot of them were like okay on Catelyn. She was kind of a likable character, but she wasn't, you know, a villain. Like a lot of people like have her. Like, I hate Catelyn in the book series. I think she is one of the best POVs, but I don't like her as a person, right? You still come out of the scene, right? The major Jon scene with Catelyn, right? Where you come out of being, yeah, Catelyn was kind of a dick in this scene, but yeah, Matthew, that's one of my big things is we didn't get to see the Battle of Whispering Wood, which I'm kind of okay with just because of the thing. I refuse to recommend GOT. So I always say this. This is how I recommend GOT to people. I ask them a couple questions about it. I'm like, or I tell them things about the show that they have to be prepared for. And if they don't want to see those things or whatever, then don't watch it. I've had a lot of friends that have put off watching Game of Thrones. I told them to watch Game of Thrones when it was still peak television, like Dogman's talking about, and they didn't. And now all of a sudden, like all these years later, they're kind of like, you know, why, you know, I guess they see how much I'm interested in the books, that they want to at least see like kind of what it's about. And for the most part, my friends like it, except for like basically what normal people like, season 7, season 8. I want to do a video talking about why Game of Thrones, for the most part, kept casual people enjoying it for so long. Because when you rewatch it, you really see the dip in quality in 5, 6, 7, and 8, where the reason people came out of the seasons feeling so positive about them and why they were excited for the next season is because Game of Thrones always did very well ending each season. Think about where they end season 5. Jon Snow's death. You have a lot of... Season 5 sets up season 6 very well at the end of it. Season 6, you have the Battle of the Bastards, the Starks coming back in the role, and then you also have the big reveal who Jon's parents are, and then you have the blowing up of the Sept with Cersei, one of the most gorgeous like scenes, and then the music's fantastic. But when you really think about those seasons, there's a lot of filler in them. Not a lot happens. Some stupid plot lines happen during those seasons that you just kind of almost forget them, just based upon like how good some of those later episodes, Hardhome in season 5 as well, that it kind of hooks you back in wanting to know what's going to happen with these characters. Season 7, I think, is the exception to that. Season 7 to me did not end really well, except for the last shot, where, because this is the shot they wanted the whole season to be built upon. They did so many stupid plot lines to get to it, where you have the Night King on the dragon, you know, flowing down the wall. Fantastic shot of the dragon. It looks beautiful, and it sets up season 8 pretty well. It's just the episodes as a whole before weren't that good. It's just that shot kind of brings you into season 8. So that's something I think D&D did well in retaining audience pretty well. All right, so let's move on. We have got Littlefinger Theory moving on. Congratulations, Littlefinger. You started Robert's Rebellion and you're moving on. We now have Arthur Dane is Mance, or we have the idea here that there is going to be a grayscale plague. You can say this either with John Con or with Shireen. Maybe when she is burned, it creates a grayscale plague. Who knows? Those are kind of your two options to choose from. There's two different theories for this one. For the grayscale plague anyway. But let me know, what do you guys think on those? What do you guys think on those ones? Sorry I was not reading chat too much. I was talking about that because I want to kind of make a video on that in the future. All right, there we go. I hate that it like goes all the way down really quickly. Everything about John going to King's Landing was changed in the show. In the books, Catelyn pushes for it. In the show, Catelyn is worried about going. I disagree. Humanizing Catelyn did not cause any issues later on. I don't see where you're coming at. Like, I've already talked about how we didn't need these scenes of Catelyn pushing or continuously showing her hatred for Jon in the show. They already established it, right? And they even established it later on in season 3. I think it's season 3, where she's like saying, you know, how her feelings about Jon. I think most viewers understood the whole point that Catelyn does not like Jon. And we don't need to keep reinforcing that. And that's not a major change to me. It's really not. Like, I don't know. He also, yes, this is true, Aaron. I agree, Honky. Shot, it is very close to lore accurate. Like, like there are things that there are minor changes they change here and there, but it's very, very book accurate. Wait, hold on. What did Aaron say? Hold on. Oh, I just read the white part, but yeah, no, he is white. Again, Shot, you keep. I disagree with you. I don't like. We understand why Jon wants to be on the Night's Watch in the show. Like in the show, you understand it's because again he's a bastard. He feels fairly unwelcome here. His last interaction here with Catelyn, you understand why he goes to the Night Watch. Yes, it's different a little bit on how it happens in the show, but again, I think it accomplishes the same goal. A very minor change. No, Kong. I meant like like if I didn't mean Mary. I meant like if the Mad King had slept with Joanna, their DNA would be mixed. In Tyrion, right? So that's why Tyrion maybe could have ended up how he was. This is another good point by Ashley. Again, I'm gonna say this. Ned going to King's Landing is very similar to the book. It's just they change up Catelyn, how she pushes for it. It's more or less the same. It's like Ned doesn't really want to go, like, and he doesn't want to go in both scenarios. It's just different how it happens. But again, very minor. That whole idea, it's very minor. Kong, it's just, it's what people love to do, man. It's the Targaryen theories. Okay, but Shot, this is my whole problem with what you're saying. What did that change? When you look at who the characters are, who they were on the show early on, what did it change? Like, what are you trying to insinuate changed these characters? Jon is a character that is more or less, we understand that he was a bastard. He was not treated like the rest of his siblings. He was never felt welcome. He never felt, that. Catelyn was not nice to him. We get this. Robb literally says, "Was my mother nice?" Jon lies. So we know this is a reoccurring thing. It's very heavily implied. All the same character development and feelings you're saying about Jon, he still carries. Ned still carries the same responsibilities of trying to kind of fix and help against the Lannisters with Robert and trying to figure out what happened with Bran and all that, and where this dagger came from. All of that is still the same. None of that changes. Like, Catelyn is a character that is still a very divisive character, even on the show. She's a bit more likable in the show, right? Because of some other scenes we get. But she's still not a character that, like, is loved. Like, we understand that she mistreated Jon. Like, that's not why people like her. People like her because of who she is as a mother to her other children and all of that. I don't see where you're saying the character motivations are hugely different, that they impact the characters so much differently that, like, like, I don't know. All I'll say about Andrew Tate, because I just saw this in the chat. Andrew Tate, like, he has some good takes about, like, men trying to, or men should be becoming more, like, they should try to better themselves and stuff like that. But he also has a lot of takes that are just horrible and are very, like, just demeaning to women and, like, just putting them all into one group. And that's just not correct. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. It's not more or less the same because it changes the motivation. Shot. I've just explained to you what happens with these characters. It's more or less the same. Like, I don't know. I don't know how else I can explain this to you. Changing the motivations or this or that was better for on screen for the show than say the book, where you have time to explain it. You can look at characters' inner motivations, right? Hold on. I will be right back. Like, my whole problem is, like, if you look at the show and the book and how they progress the characters, how they go to each plot point, it's not a problem. It's pretty good. I feel like most people view favorably. If you're talking about the book, I don't think so. Well, okay, I'll go off of my own community. I know my community does not like Cat. The show, I would say Cat's more in the middle or like leaning good, but people think Rhaegar fell in love with Lyanna E.T. based on the show. That's just not correct. Yeah, and all I'm going to say here on this idea here is that it should be equal. Like, there shouldn't be women demeaning men. There shouldn't be men. It should be, yeah. But, yeah. All right. So, Grayscale Plague, moving on. All right. So, we now have Dust. Okay, this is an interesting one. I agree. I agree. Politics to the minimal, because just yeah, we don't talk about politics on the channel unless you want to talk about A Song of Ice and Fire politics. That's a little different. But Dusky Woman is a Euron theory, so basically Euron's like warging into her more or less. I think it's an interesting one. Or we've got Frey Pie. So very good theories either way. Both of them are actually very disturbing. So yeah, let's see what you guys pick on good old Halloween. You guys should all sit down and have a Frey Pie for Halloween. Kong, you do like to be a quirky guy. That's all I'm gonna say. Tigers or elephants? I'm kind of a tiger guy myself. Let me go back up, J-Lord. You have a lot of comments, my guy. So what you're saying is all stuff that, again, is budget. This is all budget. Like what Billy Bob said earlier, a lot of this is budget. But there are changes that I do agree with you. Like, why take Rob's crown? That is an interesting one, though. All right. But yeah, J-Lord, basically, my conclusion from that is there's a lot of things in there that they couldn't do because early seasons, they didn't have the budget to do it. And some things, I agree with you, like, there was interesting changes, like, why take Rob's crown? I do think it's an interesting one. I don't know why they did that. What are the meaning of each? So, basically, you have the Frey Pie. This is more or less that Wyman manually basically cooked some of the Freys into a pie and fed it to some of the Freys, basically. Dusky Woman is basically the idea that Euron is kind of warging into Dusky Woman, the Dusky Woman that is with Victarion, and is kind of spying on him and or sleeping with his own brother because he's that messed up. I have not, Beelzebub. I have not. All right, guys, if you were a noble house in Westeros, what plant or animal would be your sigil, and what's your family words? That's an interesting question, Matthew. It's an interesting question. that's tough because I'm not good at like creating things when there's a bunch of things already set as precedent. Like, I would love to do a dragon, but then you already have like the Targaryens, and I don't want to copy that. Mine would just be like a goblin, I guess. It'd be a goblin like sheltered in a cave or something, and then the family words would be. What would the words be? I don't know. I gotta think about the words. I don't know about the words yet. A Zorse, a zebra horse hybrid. Young Wolf, are you okay? Are you okay? All right, so we have got Frey Pie. Let's move on with Frey Pie. We've now. Why is N+A in here? I think we didn't have enough or something. I don't know, but we're gonna have the Euron theory go on. I don't know why there's a second one of N+A, but we're just gonna have that go on. Grand Tyrell theory. So this theory is basically that the Tyrells have just been setting up Cersei from the beginning. Things like Loras isn't actually like dead or anything like that. And that Marjorie kind of knew everything that Cersei was doing. It's an interesting one. I don't know how much of it I actually believe. I think some of it could be true, but yeah. You also have the Song of Ice and Fire is a like a round world type theory. So those are your two options. Tyrell or round world. Have you never seen? I've never seen a Zorse, Young Wolf. I have never. As a lady of the esteemed House Tully, family duty honor, baby. Okay, all right, Lady Gonzo. All right. My house sigil would be a skull with tentacles, kind of like Hydra. Ooh, that'd be cool, Kong. You'd be a random summer islander mercenary floating around. That'd be cool. Yes, that is correct, Kong. That is correct. A white tiger rampant upon a blue field, ambition and loyalty. Okay. George confirmed that the world. Well, I guess it's not a theory anymore, lads. I guess it's not a theory. So don't worry. Well, okay, you guys are voting for that one, but I would have voted for the other one. The world of ice fire is clearly the shape of a T-Rex floating in space. Kong, that's a good one. That's a good one, Kong. You know what? From now on, it is a T-Rex floating in space. That's funny. But yeah. So round world is going to make it. You guys should have voted for the other one. The other one's more interesting. I'm not even gonna lie. The other one's way more interesting. Moving on, we have the sailor's wife theory. This is what my boy Hugo. I'm pretty sure you were the one that wanted this theory a while ago, but we finally got there. So we have sailor's wife theory, or was Tywin poisoned by Oberyn? Those are your two theories. Hold on, let me get in chat. I mean, yeah, I agree, Kong. I agree. But like, I don't know. It's a theory people like to talk about, I guess. I don't know. Where a lot of these theories came from and the ones that I put on here was just the most popular ones. I basically just went to like Reddit and whatever and just looked at what people thought were the most popular. The Tyrells aren't that interesting. That's fair. They're a lot more interesting on the show, I will say. Tywin was 1,000,000% poisoned. I think there is a good shot that he was poisoned. I agree. Sailor's wife is Ty shall be pissed if this is proved wrong. I think It would be cool if it was, but I don't know if that's true. Also, we got an Aquafina stream, so you'll love to see that. Of course. Lads, I will say, lads, I want to let you guys know this on stream right now. I think I'm giving up alcohol, so that's an interesting idea. Hey, sometimes you get unfair ones, and then you get Masande's a faceless man. 3 white eagles in a triangle formation on a red banner. Family words. We guide. You've been thinking about this for a while, Matthew. You've definitely been thinking about that for a while. That is, you know what? That's a good point, Shot. That's a good point. It does kind of sound like a ripoff, but I will say it was a cool one though. Okay. So you guys are gonna go with Tywin was poisoned. I agree with you guys. I think that's a good theory. I like that theory. All right, this one, I don't even remember how this one came about. I'm pretty sure somebody specifically asked for this theory when I did I did a post saying what theories you guys wanted to see in this, and somebody typed this one in there. So yeah, we'll see what you guys think about this one. Rob's will theory, more or less the theory that Rob's will survived. It's gonna get to Jon, more or less. That's kind of the whole idea there. And then the theory basically concludes that Jon is gonna be basically made legitimized in the King of the North. That's the theory in a nutshell. Where's Glossy? I don't know, Ashley. Maybe you scared her away. I don't know. Best theory is Tyrion is secretly a woman. Oh, boy. I think there's a website that you can make your own God banner. That's cool. I may have to look into that. Okay, so guys, need your suggestions. What do you guys want to do for 2,000 subscribers? I was thinking, since I don't actually know my heritage at all, I was gonna do one of those heritage things, and then just have do a live opening of it, and then show you guys my heritage. But because I don't know, I genuinely have no real idea. I know I have a little bit of Welsh in me, but I don't know really outside of that. I probably have some Native American from my mom's side, but I really don't know. So would you guys like to see that? What do you guys want to see for 2,000? Rob's was probably more likely, but I like Masana being a faceless man more. I miss you guys. Gotta contact Glossy and tell her to get her ass in here. You don't want to. That's correct. You do not want to cross the Hightower. As we are learning in House of the Dragon. Oh boy. I agree, Shot. I agree. I'm not a fan of the Hightowers in the show. I don't know. Oh, here's another video I was going to do for you guys. I don't know if you guys would like this or not. I'm thinking about doing a video where I do how I would have done House of the Dragon, but trying to follow what they did. So I wouldn't be able to just be like, oh yeah, I'd make it 13 episodes. I'd try to stick in their own 10 episode format, try to roughly follow the plot they went to, and go along there. I want you to dye your hair pink I'm not okay. Okay, I'm not dyeing my hair pink for you guys for 2,000 subscribers, okay? No, Hugo, try again. Give me a better thing. Oh my god. Casper. 2,000 subscribers is a nice milestone and all. But it ain't like we're hitting 100,000, okay? God, man. You know what's funny? I could actually get a hold of that, Casper. My job, I take out grease for our deli department all the time, and I've actually splattered grease in half my body before. But how would you adapt a feast for crows and a dance? Oh, so okay, this is a good idea. I'm gonna screenshot it. Usually when I see really good ideas in chat, will you do it for 20K? I will think about it, Lady Gonzo. I will think about it. I'll screenshot it just so I know. Come Kong, I just said I'm not drinking alcohol anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'll make an exception. That is a great idea. I don't know how to say your name, but we're going to say Ander for the beginning of it. That's a great... I've actually talked about that a little bit in a... What was the video I did? I could have talked about that before. It was a video that was talking about the... I think maybe the book to show translation, I think. Oh my god, Young Wolf, you've got to stop. I would have just zoomed in on one specific, or on a specific event per season. Season 1 could have been the War Councils right after... Fair enough. Oh my god, Matthew. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. I think for me, the way I want to do 2,000 subs is like, I want to do something cool, but not something like you guys are suggesting. I think I may just go with that, but that's a fair point shot, because A Feast for Crows is very like anti-war. It goes through a lot of the elements of, especially with Brienne. Brienne's a really big one in that. 2,000 sub stream of nothing but use. That wouldn't even take that long. That would literally not even take like. Oh, whatever. Create a feed only. Y'all are killing me. Oh boy, y'all are killing me. All right, let's move on. Rob's Will wins. That got way too many votes. I don't know who was voting for that, but y'all are little drunk. All right, we're gonna get through the rest of the losers bracket, and then we'll call it as a stream. But yeah, so Ashara is in the neck with Howland. So basically, the theory that she's still alive. Throw a party stream with like trivia games or something. Got to dress up though. Okay. You should do a big okay, so let me ask you guys something. Do you guys? So I've always wanted to do this. I know there's the board game Risk, right? I know there is. Is there like an actual online version of Risk for Game of Thrones? I want you guys to let me know that, because I would be down to like actually like have a stream where like maybe you guys cycled in and we like played a game or something. Shara in the neck, or Grand Northern. So this is a big one because it just has a lot of theories intertwined in it, but there you go. So Ashara or Northern. There you go. There is not. That's so unfortunate, because that would be really fun to do with you guys. Just like have like just Risk games or whatever, and we can just talk about stuff while we're playing the game. That'd be really cool. Fair enough, Hugo. Okay, I'll give you a little screenshot. There's a game. Yeah, so I know there's a board game, but I don't. Oh God, I always do this during stream, but I really screwed up that. You can play. Yeah, but I don't really like Mountain Blade, if you want me to be honest. But see, you guys are talking. I don't really like the games you guys are talking about. Those aren't my style of games, but I've seen them. Yes. Kong. This is the problem with this one. I'm basically putting them all together. So any of those Grand Northern, any of them, you can put them together. Check out my wait, what? What are you saying, J-Lord? What are you saying here? The Manleys are far rich. Severe's already, so whatever had a third son whose core is very pumped up to 11. And my son is even, or he has made the Manleys wealthier than the Lancers have ever been, turning Whiteheart into the new old time. That would change a lot, because then the North would be much more powerful. Is the short answer to that. I will ask King Stannis for Asha's hand. Yeah. But yeah, no, I wish. So maybe we could do that. Maybe I could like buy the game for, because I know there's not only Risk, there's another one where it's a little bit more in depth. But maybe I do that, and like I try to do a stream where It'd be a hard stream to do because I'd have to have a webcam of like the board. I would no, I would probably, how would I even do that? I would probably have a phone with like a tripod above the board, and then I would have my webcam just kind of facing, I guess, the people that were playing. I actually do have that Hugo. I used to play that a little while ago, but yeah, it gets really boring really quick. Just do it on a virtual tabletop. Oh, that's a good idea, Shot. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay. This is giving me the things to think about. These are good ideas. You could do a Risk Light format on a picture of Westeros from Google with its house borders. Okay. I could. Okay. All right. Let me screenshot. These are good ideas. These are good ideas. These are good ideas, lads. All right. So you guys voted no. I did not, or I saw that coming. So that moves on. Moves on. All right. So the cat's paw dagger theory. So this is an interesting one because there's a lot of them. And I thought this was kind of a more like an obvious one. So the cat's paw dagger theories, we've got that Littlefinger did it. Joffrey did it. Those are the main two. So we'll just stick with those. But there's some other people think did it. Who actually sent the cat's paw to kill Bran? That's more or less the theories here. Or the Revenge Red Wedding. Which one do you guys like out of these? So this is basically the idea that there's a wedding happening in Winds of Winter, and that more or less Lady Stoneheart will infiltrate it, and maybe another Revenge Red Wedding will happen. Cat's paw or Red Wedding. Capitalize the R. Oh well. There you guys go. 2,000 subs special. Convert each of the great houses of Westeros into unique adapted star. Oh boy, that'd be a long one. Oh god. Got my water, lads. Ashara is dead. Her, Arthur, Rhaegar being alive is on the same level of never warging into a pigeon which Arya killed. Here is most likely dead. I agree. I agree, Beelzebub or Beelzebub on that. Cook recipes from the Got cookbook. Oh, that's a good one. I really like that. I really like that. That's a good one. Okay. I might not do it for 2,000 subs. That one might be like maybe 3,000 or maybe like, I don't know. That's a good one though. Because that one would be hard to do. I don't know how I'd even do that with like, I'd have to use my phone probably, or I'd have to buy like a microphone that like, I don't know. I don't even know how I would do. Okay, guys, when it comes to audio things on like YouTube and stuff, it is my least favorite thing in the world. There is nothing harder than like getting good audio. I still struggle with it. I still struggle with it now because if I get too close to the mic, like right now, it gets too loud. And then I try to just a little bit, try to bring down the height of my mic so that when I do that, it doesn't get as loud. And then when I talk back here, it gets too soft. Don't even get me started on audio. People that like go into audio and do it for like major movies or stuff like that, I give you all the respect in the world because that stuff is difficult. Plot twist: future brands sent the cat's paw. Maybe. You know what? Maybe. Did you get? I'm probably not going to get Rise of the Dragons shot until it's either A, cheaper, or 2 after wins. I just don't see the point of getting it for me. It's just a condensed version of Fire and Blood with more pictures, which the art looks cool. I've seen some of the art, but it's just, I don't need it. I feel like for me. Yeah, cook pigeons in a sort of MasterChef style program. Oh god. All right, so Revenge Red Wedding wins pretty easily. I kind of saw that one coming, but all right. Timett will rule the Vale. Or the night lamp theory. So this is basically the idea that Stannis is going to use basically the beacon that's in the middle of all this ice, lure on the Freys, and the Freys die. That's the very summarized version of that, but you guys want to know my expanded thoughts, watch my Stannis videos. Timett or Night Okay. Okay, so my problem with this Kong is when I was in high school, when that was like coming out, I watched that a ton. So I actually know what majority of the choices do. And by the way, it doesn't really matter the choices you make. You pretty much get the same like type of outcomes anyway. And I've rewatched that series. Like I've rewatched the multiple ways you can go through that game so many times that it wouldn't even be fun. Because it wouldn't be something where it's like, oh yeah, you guys are like, I don't know what I'm gonna choose. So it's like, oh, what was the outcome gonna be? You know, it wouldn't be that fun because I would just kind of know. I would know all the twists of the game and stuff. Fair enough, Beelzebub. That is true shot. That's true. The dragon saddles never look safe. Yeah. That's one thing that was really weird about Game of Thrones, that Daenerys never had a saddle. I never understood that. Like, even when I was watching, I hadn't read the book or anything. Like, actually, no, I had read the book at that point, but it just never made sense to me. Why no saddle? Maybe Kong, maybe 2000 subscriber, where you blind choose one of the locations to fly to where they shot. Matthew, how much money do you think I make off this YouTube channel that I can just not go to work for a couple of days and just fly? Matthew, you gotta start promoting the channel a little better if you want that one to happen. She didn't. No, she didn't, Young Wolf, because in the book, right, he, you know, Drogon comes in or whatever, and she kind of was just like whipping him, like it wasn't like planned that she was gonna ride him or anything. I do like Telltale stories, but it's true about the yeah. They just, I don't know. All right, we're just gonna go with Timmet rules the Vale. All right, last one. We either have Tywin knew about the Purple Wedding, so Tywin, or that Lyanna is the Knight of the Laughing Tree. So, which one do you guys like better here? I think these are both decent, but you know. And Matthew, I'm just suggesting you need to do some more. You need to do some more research, or not research. You need to do more marketing for the channel if you want that video. Name the major difference between whipping a horse and whipping a dragon. Well, if you whip a dragon the wrong way, or you're not the right person that should be whipping that dragon, you die. But yeah. Now, I am Abe Lincoln. I have some experience with horses, and I got kicked in the eye once. Some American history for you there. It's very ironic that I kind of look like Abraham Lincoln now. I like, as a kid, I always knew a lot of stuff about Abraham Lincoln, so. You said it. I'll do the research. Dragon turns towards the whip. Horse. All right. Well, there you go, shot. There you go. Horses can fuck you up, but the difference between a horse and a dragon, the dragon eats you and or, you know, burns you. No, Matthew. You gotta start advertising to everyone you know. Be like, hey, you gotta watch the Grease Goblins. There you go. But yeah. So it looks like Lyanna's theory is winning. So Lyanna, the Knight of the Laughing Tree, who it is, in my opinion. I know we've got some controversy in the chat. Next stream, we'll be doing the good old winners bracket. We're going to be back to more of our, I guess, more popular theories. We also do have on here Brennan plus Ashara equals, you know, some things. Or, yeah, wait, hold on. Brandon plus Ashara equals Rob. My bad. I got a little confused there for a second. That is actually correct, Kong. So I don't know about the Africa part. I don't remember that part, but I do know that the whole thing about the Civil War is that Abe Lincoln kind of knew he couldn't straight up be like, yeah, we're gonna free all the slaves, right? He couldn't do that because that's just, the country would never have like backed him as well if he just straight up said that. It was the whole idea of the Civil War when it began was more on Abe Lincoln was just trying to say we're gonna reunite the continent, basically. Well, not the continent, but the country. And that was the whole idea. Later on, when he put emphasis on slavery with Emancipation Proclamation, it became more about slavery. And then that's kind of how that all kickstarted. But all right, I'm supposed to meet that girl tomorrow night. I'll let you better. Also, good luck with meeting that girl. But yeah, so that'll be the end of the stream. Thank you guys for getting into our losers bracket. We had some disagreements, but it's all good. It's what we do here. So we disagree. We're fantasy fans. That's what we do, is argue and be all whiny and such. But yeah, thank you guys for all joining the stream. I'll see you guys probably Friday if I'm not busy. I'll let you guys know. I'll do a community post if I'm going live Friday. But if we do go live Friday, we'll be doing the winner's bracket of this part of the bracket or whatever, and getting through all of that. And yeah, thank you guys for stopping in, and bye, guys.